Okay, so now we've reached the multi-step inequalities. These get much more difficult. There's two ways of thought for this, but I like to move the variables always to the left side. That way you never have to worry about mirroring them. It doesn't really matter. You could move the variable to the right side, then you'd have to mirror it over. Also, always going to the left sometimes means that you're going to have negatives that you have to divide by and flip the inequality. So, in short, there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're doing all the steps correctly. I just choose to always move my variables to the left. So I'm going to move this negative 6y to the left first. So, there we go. In order to do that, I'm going to add 6y to both sides. Negative 6y, so add 6y. That way, the 6y's cancel out. So I have 2y minus 8 is less than 16. Okay, so now this is a two-step inequality at this point. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Add 8 to both sides. 8's cancel. I'm left with 2y is less than 24. And I'm going to divide by 2, both sides. So y is less than 12. Okay, so my number line, I'm going to have 11, 12, 13. And now it's less than, so it's going to be an open dot, and shaded to the left. Alright, anytime you see a parentheses here, you're probably going to want to distribute. So I'm going to do a double rainbow there. I'm going to distribute the negative 2 to both the 3 and the minus 6t. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times negative 6t is double negative there, so it's going to be plus 12t. It is greater than 10. Okay, now what's furthest away from the t? That's going to be this negative 6. I'm going to add 6 to both sides to get rid of that. 6 is canceled. I'm left with 12t is greater than 16. And then I'm going to divide each side by 12. So, slight problem here. 16 twelfths. Well, I can divide top and bottom both by 4. That'll get me 4/3 as a fraction. And I want to plot this out. Okay, so I'm going to go 0, 1, 2. 4/3. 4/3 is equal to 1 1/3. So it's a little bit beyond 1. It's about a third of the way from 1 to 2. It's going to be an open dot, and it's greater than, so I'm going to go to the right. So it's absolutely okay to have a point not on an actual hash mark, and not an integer. That's okay. Alright, so this problem is kind of a combination of the last two. First thing I'm going to do is distribute. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Okay, and now I'm going to move. Again, I'm going to move this 4x to the left side because I like having my variables on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with 2x minus 12 is less than or equal to 18. Okay, I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So I'm left with 2x is less than or equal to 30. And I'm going to divide each side by 2. So x is less than or equal to 15. So there are multiple ways to do this problem. If you wanted to move the variables to the right side, that would be perfectly fine, but then you're going to have to both mirror and flip the inequality twice. If you need help with that, pause it, call someone over, and we'll gladly help you. Okay, so less than or equal to 15, less than or equal to means color in dot and to the left. Alright, so this problem does have a lot of steps. Stick with me. You distribute first. So the 4v does not get moved anywhere, so we're just going to repeat that down below. Now, this is where it's hard to do. The negative 5 gets distributed, not just the 5, the negative 5. So negative 5 times 2v is negative 10v. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Okay, now you have same side of the, well, not equal sign, but inequality, common terms. You can combine those. 4v minus 10v is negative 6v. So you have negative 6v plus 15 is greater than or equal to 2v plus 11. And I want to move the v's to the left. So I'm going to do minus 2v on both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with negative 8v plus 15 is greater than or equal to 11. I am going to subtract 15 from both sides. So move the numbers to the right, variables to the left, numbers to the right. Keeps inequalities nice. Left with negative 8v is greater than or equal to negative 4. I'm going to get rid of that negative 8. I'm going to divide by negative 8 on both sides. These cancel, so I'm left with a v. That's okay. Negative 4 over negative 8. Well, that's the same thing as 4 8s. The negatives can cancel out, which is 1/2. So negative 4 over negative 8 equals 1/2. But I divide it by negatives. Remember, the rule is flip that inequality. So I flip the inequality. I get v is less than or equal to 1/2. So where is that plotted? Well, halfway between 0 and 1 is 1/2. A lot of people will put it between 1 and 2 because those are the two numbers in the fraction, but that's not correct. 1/2 is halfway between 0 and 1. It's less than or equal to, so you're going to color in that dot, and then you're going to go to the left. We're back from the last unit. We cleared fractions. The way we cleared fractions, we multiplied through what would be the common denominator. The common denominator between 2 and 3 is going to be 6, the least common multiple. You can do multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, the multiples of 3, 3, 6. The 6 is in common, it's the first one, it's the least common multiple. So you can multiply both sides of the inequality by 6. And this will clear all of your fractions. So what you're doing now is you are distributing. 6 times 3 halves. Do that out to the side. 6 times 3 halves. That is 18 halves, which is 9. So that's 9x minus 6 times 1 is 6. Is less than 4/3 times 6. Okay, 4 times 6 is 24 over 3. That is 8. So 8x minus 7 times 6 is 42. Alright, so now I'm going to move the 8x to the left. So I'm going to subtract 8x on both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with just a single x here. Minus 6 is less than negative 42. Okay, add 6 to both sides. So I have those cancel. X is less than negative 36. So I'll set my number line. Find my point, negative 36. It is an open dot because it's just less than, and it's going to go to the left. Okay, in terms of decimal problem, there are two different ways to do the problem. You could clear the decimals. In this case, in particular, it's going to be very difficult because you have some inside the parentheses. I think your best bet here is to use a calculator to do any multiplication and maybe even some addition and subtraction. So the first thing you can do is distribute the 1.2 to both the 4k and the 2.3. So when you do that, 1.2 times 4, use a calculator if you have to, that's 4.8, 4.8x. Plus 1.2 times 2.3 is 2.76. Again, use your calculator if you need to. Greater than or equal to negative 10.8k plus 8.6. Okay, now I want to move that negative 10.8k to the left. I just realized that should be a K, not an X. Apologize for that. Okay, so it's going to be plus 10.8K on both sides. And that's going to get me, those cancel, 15.6K plus 2.76 is greater than or equal to 8.6. Okay, so now you want to subtract the 2.76 from both sides. And again, we're in the algebra portion now, so if you need to use a calculator to make these calculations quickly, or go quickly, you absolutely can. 8.6 minus 2.76 is 5.84. And then finally, you want to divide out by 15.6. That's a positive number, so you're not going to flip any inequalities. And you're going to get an atrocious decimal. 0.374. It's going to be repeating. Let's round to 3 decimal places. However, you can plot anything. That's a real number, and this is a real number. It's going to go between 0 and 1. In fact, it's going to go closer to 0 than it is to 1. 0.5 would be halfway. So closer to 0 than it is to 1. It's greater than or equal to, so it's going to be colored in. And it's greater than, so it's going to go to the right.